It's with great sadness I have to inform you here today that Taylen's body has been found. It is my condolences going out to the family and to his loved ones. We are sorry that it had to end this way.
When Pashun Jeffery didn't answer her phone, her aunt grew worried. She walked to the apartment, knocking on the door, but there was no response. Then she saw it, blood. A trail of it, smeared on Pashun's car, leading up to the front door. What she found inside was worse than anyone could have imagined. A 20-year-old mother, brutally murdered. Her 2-year-old son, missing. Hours later, when authorities discovered Taylen Mosley, it was in a way no one was prepared for. How did a young mother's life end in such a brutal way? And where was her son in the hours before his horrifying fate? St. Petersburg, Florida. A city known for its beaches, warm weather, and tight-knit communities. But on March 30, 2023, this quiet city became the scene of one of the most disturbing crimes in recent history. 20-year-old Pashun Jeffery was a hardworking mother. She had recently moved into an apartment on 4th Street North, excited to start a new chapter with her son. She worked at a CVS pharmacy, and those who knew her said she was kind, responsible, and dedicated to giving Taylen the best life possible. Taylen was only 2 years old. He was just learning how to form sentences, how to play, how to explore the world around him. But in less than 24 hours, their world would be shattered. And the person responsible was closer than anyone expected. March 29, 2023, started like any other day. Pashun Jeffery had just finished her shift at CVS and returned home to her apartment on 4th Street North. It was a special night. She was celebrating Taylen's second birthday. Family and friends gathered to mark the occasion. Photos were taken, laughter filled the air, and for a brief moment, everything seemed perfect. But before the night was over, something changed. Pashun's boyfriend, 21-year-old Taylen Mosley, was also present at the party. But at some point during the night, he left, taking Taylen with him. That was the last time anyone saw the toddler alive. The next day, Pashun didn't answer her phone. Calls went straight to voicemail. Hours passed, and concern turned into alarm. Her aunt, worried something was wrong, decided to check on her. She knocked on the door. No response. Then, she noticed something strange: blood. It was smeared on Pashun's car, a dark stain trailing toward the front door. Her hands shook as she reached for her phone and dialed 911. When police arrived, they entered the apartment. What they found inside was beyond horrific. Pashun Jeffery, just 20 years old, had been brutally murdered. She was found inside the bathroom, her body covered in over 100 stab wounds. The attack was so violent that investigators described the scene as one of the most gruesome they had ever witnessed. It was clear she had fought for her life. But there was one question that haunted everyone: where was Taylen? The toddler was nowhere to be found. The search for Taylen Mosley began immediately. Flyers were printed, officers went door to door, and local news stations broadcasted his image across the city. But the truth was more horrifying than anyone expected. On March 31, 2 days after Pashun's murder, authorities were led to a nearby lake, Lake Majori. It was just miles away from the crime scene. As officers scanned the shoreline, something caught their attention. An alligator. And in its mouth was the body of Taylen Mosley. Rescue teams acted quickly. They shot the alligator, forcing it to release Taylen's body. But it was too late. The 2-year-old was dead. Police Chief Anthony Holloway: "We didn't want to find him this way, but at least we can bring some closure to the family." As investigators pieced together the crime, one name stood out: Taylen Mosley. He was the last person seen with Taylen. And after the murder, he had shown up at his mother's house, covered in deep cuts on his arms. He claimed he had been attacked, but the wounds were inconsistent with a struggle. Investigators believed they were self-inflicted. Blood evidence linked him directly to the crime. He was charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. As the case moved to trial, the details shocked even the most seasoned detectives. Prosecutors argued that Thomas Mosley brutally stabbed Pashun to death in a fit of rage. Then, in an act of unimaginable cruelty, he took his own son and disposed of him in the lake, leaving him to be consumed by an alligator. Mosley's defense team claimed he suffered from mental health issues. But the evidence was overwhelming. The jury found Thomas Mosley guilty of both murders. He was sentenced to life in prison, with no possibility of parole. A young mother, taken in the most violent way imaginable. A child, whose life had barely begun, stolen in an act of pure cruelty. And a family left with nothing but memories and heartbreak. What do you think justice looks like in a case like this? Let us know in the comments below. A young mother who worked hard to provide for her child. A baby who was supposed to have his whole life ahead of him. 2 lives taken in the most horrific way imaginable. This case shook an entire community to its core. It left friends, family, and even strangers asking the same question: how could anyone do this? Justice was served, but no verdict can bring back a mother and her child. No sentence can erase the pain that lingers in the hearts of those who loved them. This case is one of the most disturbing we've ever covered. But we want to hear from you. Do you believe the justice system delivered the right punishment? Should Thomas Mosley have received the death penalty? Or do you think his defense of mental instability holds any weight? And what about Taylen? Should cases involving the murder of children carry harsher penalties? We read every single comment, and your voice matters. So let us know what you think. If you found this case as shocking as we did, make sure to hit the like button. It helps more people see this story and keeps Pashun and Taylen's memory alive. And if you never want to miss another true crime story, subscribe to Secret in the Dark and turn on all notifications. We bring you the cases that matter, the ones that need to be told. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, and we'll see you in the next one.